it seems like there's a kind of theme in my life lately around receiving. And it's quite interesting to see because somewhere along the way, I discovered how difficult it was for me to receive, no matter if it was compliments or gifts or money or whatever. Um, help, help was a big one, and the same with compliments and that kind of stuff. Even sometimes I struggled with receiving money for my work, especially when I was self-employed years back. I struggled with that as well. And I've then at some point I began to notice, like really notice, and I have tried to work on that. And it seems like right now, or the past, I don't know, month or so, maybe not even, but there has been kind of a theme around receiving and how much I actually allow myself to do it. And I think it's pretty interesting. And it has been like in different ways. Right now, it's showing up quite a bit in dating. I just started dating again after around 2.5 years of not doing it because of a breakup, and just I was just kind of going through change, and I didn't want to do that. And it's just really interesting. Just the past few days, I have just come across this several times. Like first, it was like going on a date and being okay with not being the one who got the next round or something. And then it was, I was going somewhere with my brother, and he was the one who paid not only for lunch but also some stuff of mine. And it's not like it's a lot of money, it's not, but I still normally would have struggled a lot with this. And then I went on another date on Friday with another man, and he he basically just paid the whole night. And normally I would never have allowed that. I don't think I've ever done it before, actually, unless it was my partner. Um, and maybe not even there, actually, because I have felt guilty about receiving. I have felt like I needed to give back, and I needed to be, the independent woman, and I can pay for my own drinks or food or whatever, and I don't want to owe anyone anything, and no, why should you do that? And there has been a lot of reasons. I have basically just, I haven't felt safe or comfortable receiving anything. But yeah, then on Friday, he was the one ended up paying the whole night. Again, it's not like it's a lot of money, it's not. Um, but it's still the principle of it that I normally wouldn't have allowed it. And I didn't, he was a bit late for the date, and that was fine, but apparently he wrote something, well, I will pay for the beers until I'm forgiven. And I didn't see that. But I had just, during that night, I was just keep saying to myself, no, it's fine. It doesn't matter that he's the one paying right now. It's it's no big deal, and you're allowed to just, lean back and receive something. And I was pretty good with that. Um, and then he kind of asked me out again, and then he asked if we should go out for dinner. And in the past, I would have always said no because of the same situations about I don't want to owe anyone anything. I don't want to, like, for them to think now it's more than it is, or it's, I don't know. I don't want to feel I owe anyone anything. And I feel like I need to give something back. So I was really, when I saw that, I was just like, oh, I really feel this is not that easy for me. It doesn't feel that comfortable, but at the same time I could just feel that I kind of need to say yes. I need to lean into this, because I say I want someone, and I say I want someone who is, giving and gives more than they take. And I want to be able to receive more in all areas of life, because if you don't want to allow yourself to do that, not only are you closing yourself off from other people that actually wants to give you stuff, not necessarily, money wise, but also just attention, compliments, love, whatever it is. You're closing yourself off and you contract. And that's not a great way of living. And also, just in the larger sense, that if you actually you say you want to make more money, but every time something comes in, you feel guilty, or you feel like you need to give it back right away, or you feel like you need to get rid of the money. And it's not something that happens consciously most of the time. It's just something that happens automatically, because it's a program running in the back of our mind and in our subconscious. So it's just so important, I have come to realize more and more, that we don't close ourselves off from all of the stuff, not necessarily like physical stuff, but just all of the abundance in the world, that we don't close ourselves off and not allow ourselves to just receive all that is coming to us, because there is so much out there: love and kindness and beauty and money, even, and gifts and all of the stuff. And I think most of us who struggle with receiving, we like giving. We like giving other people gifts, or maybe compliments, or we like to give love or attention, and that's the same. And if you want to give something to someone because that's what you feel like giving, it's not very nice. It's not a very nice feeling if they just kind of reject it. Again, no matter if it's a compliment or if it's a gift or if it's love, it's just, you want people to want and be open to receiving what you're trying to give them. And if we're closing ourselves off to receiving, we're doing the same thing to them as you don't want someone to do to you. And I think if we begin to see it like that, it's just, it makes it easier. Still difficult, I think. I can feel I struggle a bit with this still, or a lot. But it's these small practices that at some point makes it easier or more normal to just say thank you when someone tries to offer you something. Just say thank you and be thankful instead of rejecting and deflecting, because I really done that a lot, and I still struggle also with compliments and stuff like that. But I really tried to catch myself just saying thank you and stop there. Not something, well, oh, this old thing, or oh, you're so sweet, you think I look nice today, but I haven't slept, or whatever we can like tell ourselves, or if someone wants to buy me coffee, don't say no, just take the goddamn coffee. Who cares? It's People shouldn't give something they can't afford to give anyway. If they do, then of course it's another subject entirely. But for dating wise, I don't date men that can't afford to buy me a beer. So what is the big deal? I don't know why I think that that should be such a big deal, but it just have always felt kind of not great. But I'm really practicing that, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who should be practicing more. But it's just so funny, kind of when it just feels like your life has these kind of themes to them. Sometimes it's one thing and sometimes it's another, and especially if you pay attention, it's just it feels like it gets easier to allow things in right now, and more stuff is showing up. And I think then the next point is that you also need to be very mm, mindful about what you actually say yes to, if that is actually the best path for you. Because in a few days ago, I received an email. I received an email from an old um, someone I have worked with when I was self-employed, and I worked with him several times and did some work with him. And he wrote and asked if I wanted to do a job. At, I haven't spoken to him for a year, so he didn't know I wasn't doing that anymore. But still, he wrote, asked me if I wanted to do this job, and I was like tempted just for a little while. But then I thought, this is not aligned with who I am now or where I'm going. So this is, even though it can be a bit tempting to just say yes, because okay, then I could make some extra money or something like that, then it still feels like kind of a test. Do you have faith in where you're going? Do you believe that you can actually make this money doing exactly what you say you want to do, and not go back? Because that would be going back. I haven't done this kind of work for years and I am done with it. But there's still this little part of me that says, oh, well, it's still money. And especially if I end up leaving my job, then it's still, oh, then it's a bit extra there. And that could maybe be good if I don't make as much money. But it's still, that is a vote against yourself. That is a vote for the old version of you that don't believe that you can actually do the thing you say you want to do. So I said no. And I felt pretty good about that. But those little tests, like being asked out on a proper date, those small tests, that is, I believe, the test before something bigger shows up. You're just getting tested if you can actually hold what you're trying to call in. And it's just so interesting when you see it playing out like this. And if you actually catch yourself also just debating whether or not you should take it or do it, or if you should go for it and act like the version of you want to be and you're trying to be, or if you retract back to the version you have been before, who didn't believe in themselves or didn't believe that they could have what they want. So pretty interesting stuff. And it feels like, I don't know, stuff is happening right now just in the very, very, very small ways. But it's kind of interesting to see where everything is going, and it's interesting to see when you catch yourself. So I just wanted to share a bit about that, and hope hope some of you can relate. And I would love to hear how it relates to you, or how receiving feels for you. So leave a comment about that. I would love to read it. And like, subscribe, and all the things if you want to stick around. I would love that anyway. But take care, and receive some more. Bye.